Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Modern Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Ashlee Haze, and I am so excited about this episode that you are about to hear. Back in March of 2022, I got the opportunity to go to LA, California, one of my favorite places, and I pulled up on the homie poet Pages Matam. And so this interview, Pages invited me into their lovely home, and I got the chance to ask them questions about craft, about life, about art business. And so I hope you all enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed being a part of it. Y'all, please stay tuned for an interview with Pages. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Modern Renaissance Podcast. My name is Ashlee Haze, and I am so excited, y'all. So y'all know I'm a touring poet, and every now and then I get some really cool stops. So I am in Los Angeles, California. I'm headed to Cal State Fullerton on Monday to do a poetry performance for Women's History Month. And of course, when you get a chance to spend a weekend in LA, you spend the weekend in LA. So I'm here, and I have pulled up on somebody who I honestly thought was still out east. I was like, what are you doing out west? My homie, Pages Matam. This is So You Wanna Be.
I wish I could see my face right now, but there's so much joy and excitement because Ashlee Haze is here. How you doing?
I am so good. I am so excited to have you here as a part of our So You Want to Be a Poet series.
Beep.
I have found a poet out here, and we're going to talk to Pages just about how you got out here, what you've been doing out here, how you got into poetry. So, introduce yourself to the people. What's your bio highlights?
Oh, man. Hello, wonderful, incredible people, man. My name is Pages Matam. I am... wow. I haven't done intros in so long, man. I am a...
I was supposed to have it, honestly.
No, you good. Because I'm trying to find what do I want to say to big up myself? My name is Pages Matam. Pronouns are they, he. I am a genderqueer writer, performer, screenwriter, agent of imagination, pleasure activist. Word to Adrienne Marie Brown.
Please, yes.
I am a fried plantain connoisseur.
Ooh.
A gummy bear elitist. And a professional hugger. And so, yeah, man, this is me, coming live to y'all from Los Angeles, California, even though I was born in Cameroon, Central Africa, and then I was raised in Washington, D.C., and in Maryland. Shout out to D.C., shout out DC, Maryland, Virginia, the DMV.
What's up? I got peoples out there. I love it out there.
There you go. And then, blossomed raised all up in that place and blossomed in that place. And then, now I'm here in Los Angeles and trying to take over the world. One state, one coast at a time.
One state, one coast at a time.
Yeah.
So I like to start kind of where we met. So we kind of got your highlights. So you come from Cameroon to the U.S. as a kid?
Yes, as a kid, about 10 years old.
Okay. And so you go through elementary, high school. Do you go to college?
No. Well, yes. I started out going to, and then I was in a doctoral program. And then
you was gonna be a doctor?
Yes, yeah, because that's the
a doctor.
Yeah, well, because that's the African.
Oh yeah, right. Or disappointment to the family.
Or disappointment to the family. You know what I'm saying? So you get three options: doctor or lawyer. Engineer if you really fucked up in life. That's as far as they let you go. You know what I'm saying? So I was on the doctor path. All the way through, and then I was gonna be a pediatrician.
Oh wow!
And then niggas was bored.
Oh,
I was very bored. I was very bored. And I just peeped game early
Yeah.
about just whiteness and white supremacy in academia. I
Hmm.
peeped game early. I was not with it. I was not trying to do that. And yeah, so I dropped out. Dropped out. Eventually ended up going back like to like community college, just literally to only please my mom to have something.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, that was it. Outside of that, nah. But no, shout out to community college. I'm not even saying that like community college is bad. Like community college is great. Shout out to a dope ass community college. You know what I'm saying?
When we talk about systems that we should keep and should continue to fund, community
Correct.
college is one of them.
Correct.
For absolute sure.
Correct. And then yeah. So yeah, that's the so I was in there and then I was like goodbye.
It's like deuces. And so then do you just like go to full-time poet? What are you doing?
So I am doing art.
Okay.
I was in a band for a little bit. That was the thing. What a time. Wow, I've lived many lives. When I think about sometimes I'm like, man, you've done a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we used to try to go to like perform at like studios and for record companies, try to get deals. And like we did the Six Flags June Jam Festival and like shit like that. Anyways, yeah, so like I'm doing that for a while, and then I'm on the open mic circuit in the DC Maryland area, but mostly DC. That's where all the shit was popping. Everything was popping in DC. Shout out to Spit That, the legendary Spit That. Shout out to Busboys. Shout out to all the dopeness of Washington DC. And so I was doing that for a while, and then I also did Brave New Voices.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay,
so I was
yeah.
doing poetry. I was doing poetry as a youth dem.
The youth dem, yeah. So Brave New Voices is youth poetry competition.
Yes, youth poetry competition. So I was already kind of aware of like slam.
Yeah.
You know, in that sense of performance poetry. Watched a lot of Def Poetry Jam. You know, my mentor got us all up on that while giving us all these books. Woo, right? And the story of even how I got exactly to poetry, we might get into that. But
I do want to get into that, but okay, give me this.
So like I did Brave New Voices, and then I was doing the art thing a little bit, trying to do the school thing until I wasn't. Then I was kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna do this art thing and figure it out. Then got involved with a nonprofit out in DC called Split This Rock, and I was a teaching artist. I was doing some teaching artistry with them. And then my role just kind of grew with my skills, and then eventually I was actually on staff as an assistant youth director for the youth division, and so I did a lot of teaching artistry through them, while also doing the adult poetry circuit and so on and so forth, and going to national competitions and touring and all that jazz. And
don't just fly by national competitions and touring. Y'all, Pages, what?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I did a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? I've done a couple
two.
things. You know what I'm saying? I've won a couple national competitions. You know what I'm saying? I've toured all across. I've only never been to 3 states in the United States of America. But I've been to 47 out of the 50.
I think I'm at 42, and I don't think I'm going to Montana.
Yeah, there's just some places that you're like, I'm good. I don't have to go there.
I've been to South Dakota, but North Dakota seems like a lot.
Same. South Dakota, yes. North, I don't know what y'all doing.
I just made it to Rhode Island, though.
Okay,
so I need to just like readjust my count. But yeah, so you do the touring thing.
Did a touring thing.
And I mean, your work is incredible.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can get you to say something.
We'll get a little something. We'll get a little something.
Your work is incredible. So then talk to me. How do you get into poetry, right? So this series is so you want to be a poet.
Yeah.
And we talk about just like the paths to poetry, and ultimately like sometimes it's not the only thing you do. Sometimes it is the only thing you do.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking to people who are poets out of this community. Like, what are you doing? Where are you at now? But how do you get here? So when I meet you, we meet in competition.
Yes.
I'm repping Atlanta. I repped Atlanta, Decatur for like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Pages rep DC, and I see DC coming, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It's a time.
It's a time to be alive. So yeah. So how do you get here?
Man, so like I said, like, starting from as a youth dem, and the first time I even heard poetry and said, because the only, like, I knew poetry, but I only understood poetry as like this thing that old white men did.
Yeah,
That's how I understood poetry. I didn't understand it as like, even though I knew the griots and I knew like the storytellers from like our who are our elders like back home and whatnot, but that never really translated into poetry, and even more so later on spoken word. Like I hadn't made that connection yet.
Yeah.
So all I knew was like, oh, it's Walt Whitman, it's E. E. Cummings, woo woo, until there's a spoken word performance for Black History Month Assembly. Back when I was in high school, and they still did those. They don't do those no more. And this girl gets up, and she's like the most soft spoken, she's a skinny, itty bitty little thing, super soft spoken. So, hi, my name is, and I'm gonna do a poem for y'all called "Give Me Back My Black Man." She takes 3 steps back.
3 steps back, comes back to the mic.
Comes back to the mic, looks up, looks down, does the little breaths. And then she just, give me back my black man. You've taken him and raping him, put him to sleep. We will awaken him. And she's doing body movements and her voice is booming and she has incredible stage presence. And I'm like, oh, I want to do what she's doing.
I want to do that.
I want to do that. And so like I joined the poetry club, which she was a part of immediately. Got up through the ranks, worked, writing. Then I make it on the Brave New Voices team. And then it's over. I don't know anything about CUPSI, which is the College Union Poetry Slam Invitational. And that's the one that's the colleges that go to compete in a national tournament. But since a nigga dropped out of college, niggas didn't know. So I immediately went from the youth circuit to the adult circuit.
Yeah,
immediately. Too. But I love poetry. I love performing. I love being on stage. So I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. So, but of course, the adults are whooping my ass.
You gotta take a couple.
You gotta take a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like I was getting my ass whooped. Mind you, they'd never let me. This is like one of the legendary stories of Pages in DC. They would never let me live this down. That I tried to retire at 15.
You were like,
I won a couple of youth. I won a couple of youth competitions in the state of Maryland.
And you were like, yeah,
in the county,
my career is done
in the county of PG County, not even the whole state of Maryland, just in my county, Prince George's County. And I thought I was the hottest shit since sliced bread. And I said, I'm retiring. Why do I need to do this?
Practice.
man. And they humbled me. So I do that. Get into the adult circuit. I'm still getting my ass whooped, but I'm going back in the gym every day because I'm like, and that's what you got to do. You got to learn your craft. And I mean, we came up at a time of like, so a lot of the greats that these youngins not just going to know. We came up in an era of just like these ridiculous poets that like y'all, oof, man. And so like I'm watching them, and this is also when things are on YouTube, but things aren't really.
Yeah.
Like it's not like what a lot of the streaming sites and poetry specific spaces that we have now. So you find a video on YouTube, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time you gotta find somebody's DVD or somebody's terrible ass phone
or you had
recording,
to be there, which was crazy.
To be there. Okay. So I'm doing that, learning my craft, getting better, reading as much as I'm watching, going to open mics also almost every day, doing that whole situation until I get better and get better. I continue to win DC Grand Slam championships as an indie, and then, making a team. And then, 2014, end of 2013, I entered the Write Bloody book contest, which is for your manuscript to get published by Write Bloody.
Notable company for sure.
And I'm the winner in 2013, which means that my book comes out. It didn't come out 2015, actually. It came out September 2014.
Yeah.
My book came out September 2014.
On Write Bloody Press.
Yes, on Write Bloody Press. And then in 2014, a lot of things. Just 2014, my youth team, shout out to the DC Youth Slam team, they win Brave New Voices International Festival in July. Later, and then they challenge us. They're like, all right, so we won. So what y'all adults gonna do? Because what's up? So we go to Nats 2014 in Oakland. My team wins that. Then my book comes out. And then just my video on Button comes out for Pinatas. And this is a poem that they had since 2013. It's not until I was at a feature here in LA, actually, And I meet up with some of the folks from Button. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, yo, you just won that. We have actually one. I think we have like one of your videos. We should put it up. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be nice. And then they put it up and it goes viral.
Yeah.
So between that, the book, winning that, I go on tour after the book comes out. I'm on tour from end of September 2014 until February of the next year.
Yeah.
Straight.
That's right. Yep.
I'm on tour straight from September
Yep.
all the way to. I literally moved out of my house that I was at the time because I needed to move out because I was like, I'm about to be on tour for like 5 months. I'm not. So I moved out, put some stuff in storage, put some other stuff at like my sister's house, and went on tour.
Yeah.
Lived out of my suitcase for 5 months. But that built my network, continued to get better with that, and then started doing some corporate gigs and all of that. Kept getting my name up in that, and so on and so forth. And I just kept building and building and building and building, and then now I'm in Los Angeles not trying. I am being a filmmaker.
Yeah. So the last time I saw you, you were coordinating talent for Busboys and Poets DC.
Yes.
So what years were you doing that?
I became the director of poetry events, aka the Dope, in 2000.
I like that.
Yeah, in 2015. August of 2015, and I was the Dope from then all the way until August of 2020. So I was the director of poetry events for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I was saying a lot of learning the business. That's where I got a lot of learning the business of poetry and being able to be in the position that I was and the things that I had access to and the resources. Some of it that I applied for myself individually, but also would when I would go on tour, when I would do these NACAs or APCAs and things of that sort in return and get what I'm getting from there. Okay, let me see how I can implement that in a much more ethical and caring and considerate way than a lot of these organizations are doing into the systems with busboys, and that just opened up everything in the ways that busboys grew from there. And so it was a good time. It was a good time. It had its moments.
Doesn't it always?
As everything does, but for the most part, grateful. I'm working in gratitude in that time.
Yeah, you did great work there. So then get me the script writing now. So
okay. So screenwriting. So my first love was theater.
Okay.
My first love was theater. I'm always poetry is the side jump that became the wifey.
Same. I was going to be a dancer though.
Wow.
But then I got dealt knees and ankles.
Okay. That part. That part. Yep. Yeah. It's hard to dance without the knees sometimes.
And the ankles.
And the ankles. Yeah. So so theater was always my first love. I always loved and it was a big escape as well as poetry at some point, but TV and watching movies and things of that sort. So I was always really, really into that and that medium of storytelling. I go to a movie screening of Moonlight.
Yes.
Right when it was coming out. And that movie spoke to me in a gargantuan amount of ways.
Okay.
And I literally left the theater I want to do that. I want to create something that impactful that I was moved.
Yeah.
So I was so moved.
Moonlight
and I've experienced that with poetry.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard
it was
some
a poem
poems.
On screen to me.
Yes. Exactly that. It was so incredibly poetic, and it was literally watching a poem on the screen.
Yes.
And I said, I want to do that. And so I started thinking about all these shows, when we're talking about the shows and the representation that we're not getting on TV, the things that we're not seeing of ourselves, the kind of stories that we want to see. And so I was like, I want to write a story like that. And I want to write, something that I would love to see. So I started working. And because I'm big into anime, I'm a big, big, big anime enthusiast. Love anime. So I wrote my first script for this animated project that was an West African anime,
Wow.
that. And so I started with that. and of course, I don't know nothing about screenwriting at that time. I'm just like, I'm Googling certain things and trying to find out things about like formatting and all of this
Yeah.
stuff. Um, but and then finally, I learned I got some friends out here in LA that are in the TV and film industry, and I'm like, hey, I'm starting out in that. Let me
Yeah.
know what you think. Da, da, da. And in the meantime, I'm also turning my poems into short films. So I'm
Ah.
doing that as well. I'm taking poems, some poems, even poems that didn't have necessarily like a narrative,
Mm-hmm.
but I gave them a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And using a bulk of the poetry, if not all of it, as the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and create little shorts from there. And then it goes from there to me like writing a full on pilot and then a full on da 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 and getting better and learning all of the ins and outs of screenwriting. And then eventually it gets to the point where I get some opportunities out here in LA to be a part of a fellowship. Shout out to Tribe, it's super special and HBO.
Oh
And
wow.
and so I get into that and during
Wow.
the pandemic actually. And so I was like, okay. So, and that was like one of the final things that when I was praying about all of this, I'm like, God, if I'm supposed to move to LA, I'm gonna need a sign by Tuesday.
Yeah.
By Tuesday. Because there was a lot of things because of the pandemic that were going wrong in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if this ain't supposed to be for me,
Say something.
say something or I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna stay my ass in DC. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna
Right.
figure it out. If I got to hustle, I'll figure it out. Exactly on Tuesday morning, I get an email. Hey, we're starting a new fellowship for like incoming filmmakers and screenwriters. Would you like to be a part? And like it's
Wow.
invitational because like they're just starting, so they didn't even do submissions. The
Wow.
reason I got into it is because I had two virtual conversations with one of the executives that runs it.
Yeah.
Through a program that I did with Raise the Percentage when they did their virtual coffees, virtual coffee sessions. And so like you get a 15-minute session with an executive. Mine went really well. They were
Oh
like, yeah,
wow.
let's do another call, like a longer call and da da da. And then they're the ones like they straight up just like, hey, I remember you. You had an impact on me. I looked some of the stuff up. You were dope. Would you like to be a part? And so on that Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
I got that, and I was like, okay. And then I prepped the next 2 months after that to move my ass to LA. And then yeah, I sold most of my stuff, gave some other stuff, packed up the little rest that I had, drove cross country to Los Angeles, California, to do this filmmaking thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how's it going for you?
It's going great.
That's what I
It's
wanted to
going
get to.
great. It
How's
is
it going for you?
going fantabulous. As we said earlier, everything has its ups and downs, you know what I'm
For sure.
saying? But for the most part, it's been, it's been nice. Now, LA still growing on me. It's only been about a year or so.
Yeah.
It's still growing on me. But in terms of what I came to do and for me to like be at a position now where like I got two of my projects that got picked up and we're currently in production for those, with some high profile EPs on it that I was able to sell a script. And I told myself that like within this, because I gave myself 2 years for
Mm-hmm.
LA before I was like,
So you were like temporary, maybe
yeah,
permanent, not
absolutely.
really. Okay.
Absolutely. So I was like, I'm giving it 2 years. If nothing pops in 2 years, I'm going right back to DC. I ain't got
Yeah.
no qualms, right? And it was between Atlanta and LA.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Because I know there's, the screenwriting kind of and the filmmaking, Black Hollywood, I guess, is starting to be the
Mm-hmm.
thing called up in Atlanta. But the stuff really happens in LA. If you want to really make it in this industry, at some point you got to come here at some point,
Yeah,
right?
I
And
have a
so
friend, Grip, who's been on the podcast, and Grip is very much trying to like prove that part wrong. Like I don't gotta come to LA,
okay,
and I
okay,
think they're gonna prove it right. But
okay.
other than that, I think you at least have to like have tentacles out here, like or
Something,
something. Like you gotta
something,
be bi-coastal. Like I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay,
something.
maybe I'll get a long-term Airbnb, see how it shakes.
Something, and so yeah, so I gave myself 2 years, and to be able to like sit here and be like, I have two projects currently in production with some high profile EPs. I I sold my first script, and I told myself I want to sell at least 3
Yay.
scripts. I sold one already. I got a really dope gig as a script consultant and story expert that works in developing writers with a black script consultant firm, and one of the dopest ones. Shout out to Shannon E. Johnson.
Word.
Dope, super dope black woman, and yeah, and so like to be doing all of that within a year. It's been
It seems like crazy.
it's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind, and it's been overwhelming at times too, because this city will chew you up and it'll spit you
Yeah.
out and not give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And so like this is not a city for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying? They're very nice because everybody smokes weed out here, so everybody
For
is
sure.
relatively chill.
Everybody's super cool.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's super cool, but trust and believe, especially in the TV and filmmaking industry, it's a cutthroat world.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You know what I'm saying? Cutthroat. And so if you're not built for it, please remain an accountant. Don't do this.
Or just keep it, like as your side time
Yeah,
passion gig,
yeah,
your
you know what I'm
5 to 9
saying?
situation.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Yeah.
Look, I'm like, I might be out here for a little while.
Yeah.
But what I like about being out here in LA is like this. It's like
Yeah.
meeting y'all who came out here,
Yeah.
who made some stuff shake, who
Yeah.
made the dope decisions. Like there's another couple who I know who moved from Atlanta,
Yeah.
and they do like red carpet premieres, and
Yeah.
they do creative installations, and it's just the different ways that you can get it out here.
Yeah.
And Atlanta is starting to feel a lot like LA,
Yeah.
and so I'm kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
at least I want to get the palm trees. If I had to
Right.
pay LA prices, I'm
Man.
gonna
Get the palm trees and get the
palm trees.
mostly hot
And the
weather all the time.
tacos.
And the taco. Ooh, listen. Folks was trying to do this thing. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. I don't know if y'all saw it. When somebody had a tweet that was like, I went to New York and tried out tacos, and they were just so terrible. California has the best tacos. And everybody was getting in an uproar.
Of
How
course,
could
everybody's in their
you?
feelings.
You are erasing Mexicans in New York and da. And I'm sitting here like, bro, it's the same way that you know how in your family you got the auntie that can cook and you got the auntie that can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
They both came from their mama.
Yeah.
They both in the family. They know the recipes and the secrets, but for some reason, one auntie got it and one auntie don't.
One got the sauce.
So why is it so hard for people to apply that when people are like, yeah, the best tacos and Mexican food in general is out of California, if not Mexico itself, because it's true.
Or the only other card I'd put on the table was Texas. Southern Texas.
Southern Texas got something. Got
Don't
something.
do this.
But it ain't Cali. I as a person who's been a lot of places just like you. California got it.
I was gonna say you don't gotta sugarcoat it for me.
California got it, man. California just you will find no, but mind you, you know what I'm saying, like California also used to be Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
And so
Fair.
there's something about, I don't know if it's the weather, I don't know if it's the way the sun shines on this side, but Mexican food in California proper, up and down Cali. But as the more southern of Cali you get, the even better it gets. The closer to Tijuana you are, the better it is.
Of course, precisely Tijuana.
But whew, Cali got it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say, there are some people on Twitter who are on these tirades like Los Angeles don't have good food. And I'm like, I don't know if it's me being high, but I have a great time eating when I'm here. I've had some terrific tacos.
Ooh.
I eat sushi as often as a person can eat sushi.
Well, see, that's where you're going right. Because I will say LA's food scene is not that great.
Okay. I'm just like...
Overall. You got to go to certain pockets where the coloreds are at and where the Negroes are at.
Yep.
And there's very few pockets of those.
Be sure to make me a list of where those things are.
I got you. Not
so
a problem.
I can do,
got you. Not a problem.
Do more of that while I'm here.
But overall, as a city, is like, yeah, those three things you'll find great. Mexican food, different, whichever version of Asian food you want. You know what I'm saying? You want Korean, you want Vietnamese, you want
Teriyaki,
Japanese. Yeah. It's all bomb. and that's about it.
That's about it. That's all I need. That's all yeah, lucky for you, that and sprinkling a little In-N-Out burger every now and then.
Okay. That's
all
about
I
it.
need.
So
I don't
you're
need
in a
too
good
much.
place. Yeah, you are always gonna find good food in Cali. Then you're in a
Right. So
very
I'm like,
good
I
place.
always have a brilliant time here. So Pages, being just like, how are you a full-time creator?
I am.
I love it. How long have you been doing that?
Woo! Yeah, full time. Yeah, since 2015.
Wow, 7
since
years.
2015.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was 2016 going into 17.
2015. Yeah.
That is terrific. So what is the biggest lesson that you've learned in being in business for yourself, being your own boss, being a
Do
creative?
your taxes quarterly. Quarterly. Do not wait until March to do your taxes.
We're doing an episode with accountants. Y'all come back for the episode with accountants this season.
Do them shits quarterly, okay? Do your taxes quarterly.
Do your taxes.
Oh my gosh. And then they eat them. Oh man, this country. Anyways, we're not even gonna talk about this, man. We're not even. Oh man, because it's. Anyways,
I could do
because
a
you gotta
whole
get
episode
insurance. You pay for your own insurance. You
medical and professional.
Medical and professional.
Bet you didn't know that. You need professional insurance.
You need professional insurance.
Anybody's stages
Correct.
out here.
Correct. They look at you. Oh, you don't got. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you might not be. You need to find somebody to sponsor you or something.
No, we need professional insurance.
We need professional insurance. Like, it's real out here. Don't. Yeah.
I am so glad you said that because that's one of my soapbox things. It's like artists do your taxes, period.
Yeah.
But definitely do them quarterly. Like I use Gusto. So.
Yeah.
And they do most of the heavy lifting, and it's great.
Gusto's lovely. Yeah,
file your taxes quarterly because let me tell you, it's not cute.
Man, it is not cute. It is not cute.
You come back from your first 100 shows, you're like swimming in cash. Let's go to Magic City.
Let's go. You Scrooge McDuck out here.
I'm in sixes.
I'm
in whatever.
Come on.
Whatever. And then the IRS is like, so about those obscene amount of bands that you owe.
Out them 100 shows, we need to see like 40 of them.
Right, we need 40.
About 40 of them, that belong to us. That's our money.
Huh.
40? 40?
You're like, what?
Y'all wasn't at the cheap motel with me when I was doing poems for 2 people in the cafeteria.
I was in the snow going through Iowa, going from the border of Canada to Detroit.
Y'all ain't drove 8 hours, almost crashed 4 times, trying to get to the next college that don't give a fuck about your poems. Y'all didn't do that. RS, you didn't do that.
With the broy white boys up front.
My gosh. Oh, we love your poems about America and yeah, man, white people, man, they're just so crazy.
Oh my God, Pages. This is gonna have to be 3 episodes just on like life on the road.
On the road. So yeah, man, I'm just like, yeah, nah, that's not. Yeah, taxes and just I think the other lesson in it is compromise where you can. But the places where you can't, don't. Just don't. Because I learned very quickly, whatever this person wasn't willing to pay, somebody's going to pay 10 times more. And you saying this lowballing yourself, bad idea. And it's like, now, the caveat is you also have to, a lot of y'all out here be thinking y'all good at your job. And so y'all feel entitled that I'm supposed to get this amount.
You have to tell my audience to take their wigs down. You did not tell my audience to hold their edges down.
Listen.
Come on.
Some of y'all not good at your jobs. Y'all should have stayed accountants. Y'all should have kept working at Best Buy. So y'all out here trying to charge prices that you have not earned. Now we can talk about the way these systems and the way white supremacy deals with black and brown people and is already underpaying us.
For sure.
We can have that conversation for sure. And especially the way artists get treated.
But we also have to be honest about the market
About
and
the
honest
market.
about the energy and the products that we put out, which is like a whole, like, it really could be a whole other ethics
A
conversation.
whole
It's
other
about
one.
like the work that you, because my thing is like, and it's not to say that one path is better than the other, but for me, it's like integrity in art, right?
Correct.
Like, you don't go to YouTube University, you know, write a book of poems in crayon, publish them, to go viral. And, you know, and it's like people who have a bit more integrity with the art, willing to learn more, willing to educate themselves more, grow more
Correct.
in the art. And it's just like, no, stop messing up the market.
Stop messing up the
Because you
market.
charged them 3 bands. It didn't enjoy the show. You didn't read the room.
And now when I'm trying to go there, they're like,
Why should we book poets?
why should we book poets?
Which is also like speaks to white supremacy there. Because why
Correct.
do I have to, you know,
Correct.
there are a lot of other careers where I don't have to be responsible for the last fuck up.
Correct.
So, you know,
Correct.
so many conversations to have, so
many
much
conversations.
nuance to have.
But yeah, but don't compromise. Don't compromise. Compromise where you can, but the places where you can't, don't. And you know, and it took me one good time to sleep on somebody's couch in their very dirty home. One good time. And I said, I need to get better at this writing and performance shit so that I can make enough money to always be able to be like, if I want to stay in a 5-star hotel, I can do that. Because I'm never sleeping on somebody's couch again unless I know you and I fuck with you.
So how
It took one time, and after that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going in the gym. I'm about to be the best at this. Because ain't no way I'm not doing this again. Nah, I'm too bougie.
I'm not doing this
I'm too bougie. I'm too bougie.
I always say I'm a Whole Foods hoe. So when it comes to like these poems, and that might be in the way of me going to Whole Foods, I'm like, I'll go be an accountant. I'll go be an administrative assistant.
Correct.
Never,
you know what I'm saying?
never too proud.
So, yeah, man, and that's it, man. Those are the two things.
So, Pages, let me ask you then. So, what things did you then do to feel like you did grow and that you could ask for those things directly and sit in that power?
Yeah, for sure. I try to get in as many writing fellowships as I could.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I ended up doing Callaloo's. It's still one of the best ones, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Callaloo. And there's a lot of different ones, you know what I'm saying? There's you have the Vanas, and well, that's when you start going more academic side, but the Providence writers, you know, program, and you know, and then you have the Kave Khanums and the Callaloo and the Watering Holes, and
get your notes if you're
you know
taking
what I'm saying,
notes.
all of these genres, right? But yeah, so I did some writing fellowships both locally and I also had some great mentors and people. That's the other thing, man. Don't ever be afraid to learn. Learn you something.
Yes.
Learn you something.
Mentors.
It don't matter how like a mentor is so beneficial to your career, man. Having somebody who knows you as a person and as a creative, you know,
and
artist.
Who's walked the path.
And who's walked that path and who's willing to give you tutelage and their ear and like their very objective ear and that they can speak to you very frankly, like that is a gift.
It absolutely is.
It is a gift. And like I am grateful that I came from an area that I was surrounded by dope ass mofos all around me. You know what I'm saying? From the, you know what I'm saying?
Lucky, man.
Come on, hella lucky. And, you know, also being on the East Coast, very lucky because Baltimore was right there. New York was right there.
Yeah.
North Carolina was right there. You know, upstate New York, if I wanted to go, you know what I'm saying? Virginia was right there. So like
poetry was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm also very close and in a very accessible range to other dope poets. You know what I'm saying? So like learn from them, you know, in that for sure. But you know, it's a journey, man. It is such a journey. And so like I always invested in my craft in that way. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's fundamental. And that's what people can tell is the difference in the investment.
Correct.
That's what I was looking for.
Correct. You know, I invested in my craft and, you know, read more books, you know what I'm saying? Like watched some other performers and did things that I said. And not even just poets. I also watched comedians a lot. I learned how to put on a proper set by watching comedians. And so it's like anything that was writing and or performance related, and also had a very good circle. That was the third thing. I had a very great tight knit circle of people that were like, we send each other stuff.
Yeah.
And so we edit each other and so
You're
on and so
networking
forth.
across. That's my favorite thing
Networking
to
across. There you
say.
go. Networking across, right? And so, and then I sharpened my pen in the gym. And so like by going to slams, still doing like slams and like things of that sorts. And so because that's the only way you get better, right? Excuse me. You get better by being around
Other poets.
other great poets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially those who are better than you.
Yep.
Like that's how you get better, you know what I'm saying, if you're really about that life. And so I got to sharpen my pen on that circuit as well. And so you got to do the thing. So once you learn the thing and you elevate your craft, you also got to then put it in practice, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people still living in theory when they need to cross over to the praxis side. Now let's put things in practice. Now you can't theorize the shit forever.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so you real good in your living room, and that's about it.
Didn't I tell you to warn?
Everything sounds real nice in the living room.
Everything sounds terrific in the living room, but I got it by, like you said, going against the adults. I got it by going to local open mics. I got it by being swallowed by DC's team and by New York and the Bay.
And swallowed too, man. Ooh, there's a lot
but then you bounce back and you listen and you go back to the board and you get clearer on your story. Because what I found was that the best poets, the poets that I thought were the best at telling their own stories.
Correct.
It didn't need to be anybody else on stage.
Correct.
They just got better at connecting how your stories connect to other people.
Correct.
Y'all getting a lot of game in this little episode. That's why I love this series, because we unpack so many boxes.
Come on now.
Many boxes.
Come on now.
So, Pages, how can people support you?
Oh, I told y'all, Pages Matam, got the website, PagesMatam.com, check my stuff out there. I have some short films coming out soon and some other little funky and fun projects. I have 2 books. I still have my Right Bloody book in circulation. You can go to Right Bloody. Well, if you go on my website, you'll see it. And then I have this other book of haikus of examining toxic masculinity that I wrote a while ago called Drakeus, because I was writing at a time where, Drake was highlighted for a lot of his toxic masculinity shit that he was doing. So I took Drake and Drakeus, ta-da. So
I gotta get this.
Yes. So you can buy those. I told y'all my pronouns are they, he. My other pronouns are Cash App, Venmo.
Please.
So if you put my name down, Pages Matam, you'll find me on either of those platforms. Yeah, man, and yeah, that's how you can support, man, and support me by like being kind to yourselves and being kind to other folk. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, be kind to other folk, and then where there's a need for violence, let them things fly. These hands are rated E for everyone. Let the chopper motherfucking spray. You know what I'm saying? And we're good. Let the chopper spray.
So what are you most looking forward to? What's like your big project, your dream? What's your dream project?
Oh, my dream, wow. I have all these pilots right now that are I'm just so very excited about. These are stories that I'm like that are so close to me. And that I've been ruminating over, and that I'm just very, very excited to finally put out into the world. So that's exciting.
Producing episodic pilots?
Yeah. And so, you know what I'm saying? And so and then the short films, of course, that I'm also very excited about. And the things that will come out from those short films, that's where we already me and the team and the squad's already got a plan around that. So that's going to be really, really, really nice. I'm working on my next poetry manuscript. Due out. When it's going to be due, y'all just going to wait.
When it's coming.
But it's coming. But it is coming. It is actively being made. I'm not just saying that into the ether.
Good.
Yeah, it is actively being made. And it's nearly complete. I would say about 75% complete. So yeah, that manuscript, and I'm really excited about that. Yeah, because it's chronicling my last 5 years of my life. That's what it's chronicling, and it has a lot of movie themes and a concept behind it, and so I'm very, very excited for that.
After movies.
You know
That's
what I'm
my
saying?
favorite thing.
Very, very excited for that. And then yeah, man. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And then the hope is to, or the dream is to eventually open my own creative development company.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna take, black and black indigenous writers and performers of different vocations, and help them develop as in their respective creative industry, while also working as a unit to create something,
I
right?
love
And so
that.
we'll consistently be creating different projects, and then do so as a 2-year program. You do the fellowship, and then you then get to be a part of a retreat where we go to a cabin somewhere, and like just like 2 weeks of just like of more fellowship and bonding and
Just
creating
immersive,
something
yeah.
very immersive.
Creating.
And then we come out with a showcase that has all of the stuff that the company did for these 2-3 years, and just moving on how we're creating more responsibly and ethically, and moving that, because my politics are so aligned in everything that I do now. And so like if it's disturbing my peace in any way, I step away
Mm.
from it. I'm
Yep.
at a point in my career now, whether if I'm doing poems or screenwriting and this, that, and the third, where it's like I'm not I'm no longer motivated by money.
Mm-hmm.
I've had money. Not to say here like I was a millionaire or anything like that, but I was at a point in my life where I was like, for the time in my life that I was at and what I was making, I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
Like
comfortable
I
for
could do this.
sure.
Like I could buy a house. I could do stuff. And this is mostly poetry money. You know what I'm saying? So like I know how to do and follow the formulas
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to do that. But my politics and the way that I'm really driven in like community care are so important for me and take the
Yeah.
forefront. And as I'm trying to, as much as I can, even though we can't, right? We're in a late stage of capitalism, so it's always going to be there. But as much as I try to like remove myself or not, or try my best to employ other methods that are not as harmful.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot of my outlook and my relationship with money. So like I'm no longer, because of that, I'm no longer motivated by money in terms of a lot of the decisions I am making. Right. And that community care is the most important thing first. Um, and so in that, it's really opened up, especially during the pandemic, it's opened up so many things about the ways that I'm approaching my art now. And so
Mm.
I'm capturing a lot of that in this new manuscript. And that also same energy is being captured in the type of films that I'm writing and that I want to make. So
I think
yeah.
that is so dope because
Yeah.
that's part of, philosophy media. We talk about wonder, authenticity, and ethics.
Yeah.
Being yourself when you're trying to fit in, when you're trying to, sell out, when
Mm.
you have to
Mm.
think about what the price tag
Mm.
is, what it's worth, and
Mm.
the cost of peace. I'll be able
Man.
to sleep
Man.
at
Man.
night.
Ooh, because let me tell you, ooh, I've walked away from some things that people looked at me as like, what? And I was like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, we had a conversation where I was like,
mm-hmm.
nah, keep that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm
Keep the
good.
deal. Sometimes, we have conversations about when you should take the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I have episodes coming about that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you find that sometimes that deal is too much on compromise. Again, what are you willing to compromise? What are you not?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to keep for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And in any deal, you got to keep something for yourself.
There you go.
You
There you
got to keep
go.
something for yourself. Well, Pages, I
Yeah,
would
man.
be remiss.
Remiss.
you know, you know what happens when somebody
Remiss.
and when people start repeating the word that
Sir,
you
bad,
said, they know exactly
bad.
what's coming.
Well, we at that part that you know is coming.
I'd be remiss if I didn't at least invite you
Yeah.
to share a piece of your work with our audience after such a
Yeah.
brilliant conversation. And y'all, Pages cooked for me. Let me explain something to
Man.
you. Let me explain something to you. Pages basted some lamb chops
Talk about it.
with butter, garlic,
Talk about
thyme,
it.
shallot, y'all.
Talk about it.
Macaroni and cheese
Talk
with
about it.
chives.
Talk about it.
What
Talk
were they?
about it.
Blanched Brussels
Blanche,
sprouts.
bro, we're not doing that
But
again.
Pages is not like
Hated
them
it, hated
blanched.
it, hated it. I'm not blanching no more. That was like somebody told me blanch them first, and I tried it 3 different times. It's not working out the way that I would like it, so we're not doing that again.
Not doing that. So Pages and I found out we have in common that we learned how to cook by watching Food Network.
Absolutely. When you spend the time on the road, Food Network is on, HGTV is on, ESPN is on. Those are the three. And TNT. A lot of because a lot of just TNT be having just a lot of stuff a lot of time. But HGTV and Food Network were primaries.
Absolutely top tier. Just keep it on in the hotel room. So Pages, would you like to share some work, a piece of your work?
Yeah, I'm trying to like share something like new. You know what I'm saying?
We love new shit.
Some new. You know what I'm saying?
Love
that like
new shit.
That's not really That's not really the thing. Okay, cool. We'll do this. We'll do this, man. Again, thank y'all so much for having me. Like, thank you for having me, Ashlee. Like, this is so dope. This is so dope. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all getting so many gems, man. Y'all getting some amazing, amazing gems, man. Just being in space with this incredible human being known as Ashlee Haze. And so, like, yeah, y'all better continue to support. You know what I'm saying? Pay Ashlee Haze for all this free game that y'all getting out here. You know what I'm saying? Like very, 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 very expensive game that y'all getting for the low. So pay Ashlee Haze. Okay. Support that. Ashlee Haze in all of the endeavors. So yeah, so we'll end with this. I wrote this actually at a moment. Shout out to therapy and all of the things. And so like this was a moment of like when I finally started feeling better in my body during the pandemic. And so I wrote this poem. On learning the language of loving your own body. Your body speaks in wind, both violent and gentle in a sway that can shatter the soul or soothe the lightning beneath it, so breathe. Even in these moments when it seems like life is missing, but you are no amber, stay alert to yourself. All of the love and fire that you become, you are as essential as the poem living inside of your body, a free verse. Because when every day becomes a battle spilling from the blood-dazzled mouth of greed and laws and oil and bones and flags and shells and triggers and borders and bones and so many bones, the countless unnamed heroes who swallow it all for us and spit us out a charred rainbow. I swallowed once too, and he called it a poem, and she called it a clusterfuck. And funny enough, they are the ones who came out a birthing of awesome, of fine as hell, and a new glow. And I told them, make a song of your name, as I have made of yours. Do not go quiet or gentle. Live in all of your loud, because this world will feed on your silence and call it mercy. But for some of us, poetry is how we've come to cope with the aftermath. For others, poetry is the weapon of choice for survival. It is a time machine. It is a selfish dimension. It is where our intuition goes to grow a garden of just look at the sky and say, wow, I did that. I'm the one who taught the universe all of the kinky ways to achieve a big bang. I kissed the sun and said, let me cook for you. So I stirred an ocean full, and the earth began to bend over, showed me what it was working with, and we worked and worked and worked until the work became a bouquet of jonquils. Sometimes you gotta gift yourself flowers. Let the buzz of your own touch pollinate your skin with a dance that reminds you why you are still alive, and say, wow, you did that. Wow, I did that. And that's that piece. Taps mic.
Y'all can't see me, but as you can imagine, I'm trying to catch my breath and my wig left. Could you run me back the Give Yourself Flowers piece? Because there's something in there that I need some more of.
Yes.
Please. Oh, you helping me today, Pages.
Yes, we can absolutely run that back as soon as my phone decides to cooperate. There we go. Look at that. Wow.
Take us back there just a little slower.
Ooh wee. So I'm the one who taught the universe all of the kinky ways to achieve a big bang. I
Mm-hmm.
kissed the sun and said, "Let me cook for you." So
Mm-hmm.
I stirred an ocean full, and the earth began to bend over, showed me what it's working with, and we worked and worked and worked until the work became a bouquet of jonquils. Sometimes you gotta gift yourself flowers.
Hmm.
Let the buzz of your own touch pollinate your skin with a dance that reminds you why you are still alive, and say, "Wow, you did that." Say, "Wow, I
I
did
did
that."
that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pages Matam,
Beep, 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 beep,
for
beep,
spending time with us
beep.
at Modern Renaissance.
Don
Y'all,
DeMarco,
whoo,
thank you for
thank
having
you.
me. Thank you. Thank you. This
I
has been a
realized how
gift.
much I missed poems.
Man, 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 let me tell you, I went to
Like
an
I do
open
them
mic
for a living,
recently,
but
right?
like,
But it's different, especially after the pandemic and everything. Like, I recently went to an open mic and I was like, this open mic is terrible, but man, I missed this.
but
This
I
is so
missed
great.
poems.
This is awesome. Yeah, I say the poems still need work, but
I
man,
think
this is great.
maybe secretly this podcast is getting my favorite poets to read to me. In
Man,
which
listen,
case,
you on to something. You on to
in
something
which
now. And we are not
case,
gonna
thank
stop you,
you.
baby. We're not gonna stop you.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, y'all. Thank you for tuning into the Modern Renaissance podcast.
Yes.
We are learning better, doing better, and being better. I'm out in LA, so the song of the week is going to be The Recipe by Sir. I've been playing that.
Oh, all right.
So thank y'all. Make sure y'all follow Pages Matam. Make sure you
Yes.
follow at the Modern Renaissance on
Yes.
Instagram at themodernrenaissance.com. Make sure you
Yes.
tag me, Ashlee
Yes.
Haze, Pages
Yes.
Matam. Buy books at Right Bloody.
Yes. Right, bloody. You'll find them on
Fund
my
your local
website. All
poetry
that.
programs.
Absolutely. Please, please invest in the arts, man.
And
Please
start
do.
writing your screenplays
There you
too.
go. There
Give
you go.
yourself
You
some
got
permission.
to do it. Just do it.
Just
Give
write your
yourself that
story.
permission. Exactly.
You got to do
Exactly.
that. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all next time. Remember to
Peace.
hydrate, moisturize, mind your business, and wash your hands. And I'll see y'all again.
Woo!